Widespread testing sits at the heart of the COVID-19 battle, but one major factor hampering global efforts to contain the spread of the new coronavirus is testing. Testing for coronavirus in itself is not a problem. Rather, it is the problem of inadequate testing kits, testing infrastructure, and personnel. In the past 1 month, efforts of testing have, according to reports, been marked by defective or contaminated test kits or lack of testing infrastructure. Of these challenges, the more unsettling report is about defective and contaminated test kits. Those reports come with the what, not the how. And so on your behalf, we ask, how come? Welcome to COVID-19 Myths and Facts. There have been rising concerns on the authenticity of COVID-19 rapid test kits. Many countries have expressed dissatisfaction with the test kits over reports of technical errors. The kits had been hailed as a game-changer tool to help restart economies across the world. But can they, in the light of these challenges?
Tanzanian President John Magufuli earlier this month raised suspicion on the COVID-19 test kits after samples taken from a goat and a pawpaw fruit came back with positive results. The president said the faulty kits meant some people were testing positive for coronavirus without actually being infected. In the same vein, countries such as India paused the use of rapid testing kits over concerns that they are faulty. It complained that the kits, which are supposed to test for the presence of antibodies against the coronavirus, are malfunctioning. In the United States, the New York Times reported that tests of frankly dubious quality have flooded the American market, saying that it has been found that it mistakenly flags some people as having antibodies when they actually don't. In the UK, scientists said the tests have low sensitivity rate and that they aren't good enough. And back home, Nigeria's test method of the virus is being criticized.
The test method itself, the PCR test method, is an unreliable test method and is never to be used for diagnostic purpose, but for genomic sequencing, for just research purposes. But PCR is being used, test kits are being produced, test kit manufacturers are making cool money.
In the meantime, a video clip circulated on social media questioning the authenticity of the test kits from China.
If they stick the swabs into your mouth and up your nose, there's a strong possibility that you will be contaminated. Globally, people are saying that they are using the swabs to spread the virus. Don't take the risk.
The alleged suspect, a 55-year-old South African, was later arrested by the government and charged to court. Several other countries have reported problems with kits from China, but Beijing has denied quality issues. In a statement, China said it attached great importance to the export of medical products. For now, it seems the lab tests, which are more complex and time-consuming, are still the only reliable method of testing.
Interesting. So since rapid test kits are critical to identifying those with infections and reducing community transmissions, efforts of containment can be really slowed down if they are found to be unreliable. If those reports are true, let's find out how they become contaminated or defective. As we bring in Dr. Mohammed Munir, he's a virologist with the UK's Lancaster University. Dr. Mohammed, thank you so much for holding on for quite some time.
Good evening.
Good evening. Before we go to President Magufuli's position from Tanzania, let's look at these reports. They come with the what, that's that they are defective or contaminated with the virus, but they don't tell us how they become contaminated. Tell us how.
Well, one thing I would like to clarify here is that the technologies, those are being used for antigen detection or for antibodies detections. Those are very proven and well-established technologies for multiple diseases. But when it comes to coronavirus, there are a few facts that we need to be considering before making any conclusion. I think the important thing that many people don't really register is that half of the people who are infected with this virus, they don't show any clinical sign, and especially if they are healthy, young, and doing good otherwise. So just assume if a factory where people are working, if someone is infected and doesn't have any clinical sign, they would be operating like they don't have any infection. And doing so, they might be the source for the infection when they speak, when they sneeze or cough, or normal circumstances when we are breathing and talking, we also spit some of the droplet out of our oral cavities that could carry the viruses. And when these are done in a factory or in a laboratory, these are the major sources for contamination. In regular circumstances, what we do, we have a high quality control system where we really emphasize that there is no any contamination, but this is unprecedented time. Everything is in rush, and all the rules those are already set in place are really thrown out of the window. These are really the major sources where the contamination is coming through any form of the test. And the problem is that it's not only the test, but other appliances, medical appliances, those are being used, are likely to carry some contamination.
Interesting. Do you worry, because some of those reports also came from the UK, do you worry that it is possible that those test kits may have been used before they were detected?
Well, that is certainly true. For example, here in the UK, the healthcare workers were given test kits again to ensure that the first kit that was relatively of low efficacy could also be tested again to ensure that there is no anyone in the front line that is infected and asymptomatic and carrying the infection. But the chances are where those faulty or contaminated kits have been used, that they would be either the source of infection or